And with the 17th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Giants select Andre Dillard, offensive tackle out of Washington State. Now, you might be like, what? No receiver? We just lost OBJ. How can we not go receiver in the first round? Because it's deep. It's a deep class. Now, whether it be Eli Manning, Josh Rosen, or maybe a quarterback they end up drafting this year, they were terrible last year at protecting the quarterback. Saquon Barkley, he had so many receptions because Eli literally had 3 steps before he had pressure in his face. The line did get better at the tail end of the season, but tackle was a huge weakness. Nate Soldier, he's steadily declining, so giving him all that money is kind of looking like, so Dillard, this man's seen more snaps than any other offensive lineman in this year's draft. And he's won a majority of those exchanges. He is he is a proven commodity in this draft. I think he'll go great on the right side. I think with this, you protect your future investments. Go offensive tackle Giants in the first round. You need to. With the 18th pick in the NFL draft, the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings select Dalton Risner, offensive tackle out of Kansas State. Now, the board didn't fall very well for the Vikings because they ended up missing out on the top tackles in this year's draft. So this may come as a bit of a reach because let's be honest, they need to protect Kirk Cousins. They invested a lot of money in Kirk Cousins, so they need Kirk Cousins to look a lot better in year 2. Now, I have Risner edging out other offensive line talent like Cody Ford, Eric McCoy, just because that Risner can play offensive tackle. Those guys can't. They're center guard at best, and what they really need is a tackle. He has a bit more positional versatility, especially at tackle, and like I said, that was a big struggle. He didn't look so great, right? Risner didn't look great. Senior Bowl, he got beat by a lot of the speed rushers and drills, but he had a stellar career at Kansas State. I mean, I don't think a bad week could take away from just the production he had at Kansas State. So I think if you're Vikings, you have to go tackle here. You have to protect Kirk Cousins. With the 19th pick, the Tennessee Titans select A.J. Brown out of Ole Miss, receiver. I love Brown. He is an athletic freak, just like his teammate Metcalf. But Brown, he actually produced at Ole Miss. Now, the Titans lacked a lack of proper vertical threat. Corey Davis is a possession receiver. Adam Humphries, most of his damage is going to be done in the slot. So they need someone that could go out and just stretch the field on the outside. Brown can play slot if they really need him to. And I mean, Marcus Mariota, outside of the injury bug, he really needs to produce. This might be make or break year for Mariota. So just give him a scary set of receivers and let that man sling the ball. And at pick 20, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I have them selecting Devin Bush, linebacker out of Michigan. This would be a dream scenario for the Steelers. They have sorely missed Ryan Shazier, one of my favorite players in the league. It's heavily rumored that Pittsburgh wants Bush. They're willing to trade up for Bush. Bush is a better pass rusher than White. I mean, Devin White. They both have they're both crazy athletic. They tested very similar at the combine. It's just White's the better coverage linebacker. Honestly, I won't be surprised if the Steelers try to trade up just to ensure that they get Devin Bush. If he were to fall here, total shock. Steelers would be just falling on their back and just, oh, we got him. So I think this is a great pick here. Get that leader on your defense that you've been missing for so long now. And now the 21st pick. Playoff teams now. Here we go. The Seattle Seahawks select Greedy Williams, cornerback out of LSU. Now, they should be trying to reload the secondary. That should be their first course of action, whether it be a corner or at safety. The Legion of Boom is long gone, and now they need to start forming their new one. Now, Greedy, he's an extremely physical corner. He could honestly go a lot higher than this. I just think last year he didn't produce as well as most people would want, but I think he would excel in Pete Carroll's cover 3 defense. So you go greedy, you get your Richard Sherman, and then maybe second round, you get a safety that slips. And at pick 22, I have the Baltimore Ravens taking Cody Ford, the guard out of Oklahoma. Now, hear me out on this. People may be like, they have no one at receiver. They have Willie Snead, and that's it. Well, let me tell you something. The Ravens added Mark Ingram, and they Gus Edwards, their other running back, showed lots of flashes. They want to play to Lamar Jackson's strengths, and they want to run the ball down people's throats. Now, wide receiver, as we saw after Lamar Jackson took over the position, the quarterback position last year, it lost value in this offense. You saw John Brown's production go way down. Let me tell you, as an avid fantasy football player, John Brown's production dipped hard. So there's not a lot of value at receiver in this offense. Ford's a powerful run blocker. He lacks the athleticism, like I said, to play tackle. So I think getting him for the run blocking, top notch. That's your pick. And with the 23rd pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Noah Fant, tight end out of Iowa. And I know people are ripping me apart. They're probably like, man, the Texans need a new offensive line. What are you doing giving them a tight end? And just listen to me. The offensive linemen, they flew off the board quick in this draft. In my draft, I should say. So it makes this pick difficult. If you can't trade out of this pick, which I can't, then if you can't get protection for Deshaun Watson, then just give him a weapon. Now, there's some red flags. Hear me out for Font being a first round prospect. He's not a good run blocker. He's had a lot of drops over his career, but he's physical, man. The man is athletic. He's a freak. So he's talented. So hopefully you could just coach up those things. You can coach him up to be a better blocker. You could get rid of most of those drops and make him productive. I think you reach for talent here this late in the first round. And with the 24th pick, the Oakland Raiders select DeAndre Baker, corner out of Georgia. Now, Raiders double dipping on defense here. Baker doesn't have great size or speed as some of his other day 1 or day 2 counterparts, but he is honestly the best cover corner that's not named Byron Murphy. He played well for Georgia last year against top talent. He doesn't allow much separation between him or other receivers. And like I said, the Raiders' defense is atrocious. It sucks. So I think Baker would be a nice fit for Paul Gunther's defense, opposite side of Collie. So yeah, you get some more secondary help right there. And at 25, I got the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle out of Notre Dame. Absolute steal. Absolute steal. The Eagles, they did well trading for Deshaun Jackson and Jordan Howard. They got them for real cheap. Literally gave away nothing for them. They also signed defensive tackle Malik Jackson away from the Jaguars. But Jim Schwartz, his defense, he likes to rotate his defensive linemen in and out. Tillery, he's a stout against the run, and he has the speed and strength to shed blocks and get you pressure on the passer. Like I said, this guy could be a top 10 prospect. There's a few red flags with off-field issues, but nah, man, this kid could ball. So, kid, younger than, yeah, no, that adds up. 3, 2, 1. With the 23, 2, 1. And at pick 25, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle out of Notre Dame. Now, the Eagles had a phenomenal offseason, I think. They traded for Deshaun Jackson and Jordan Howard for next to nothing. Literally, pennies on the dollar. They also signed defensive tackle Malik Jackson, which he's gonna be huge for that defensive line. Now, but listen to this. Jim Schwartz, he loves to rotate his defensive linemen in and out, keeping them fresh. That's why they try to stack defensive line every year. So I think in Tillery, they get someone stout against the run and with enough speed and strength to shed blocks and put pressure on the quarterback. This guy's a steal here. He's a top 10 talent who falls because of some off the field issues. So go out and get this man, Philly. And at pick 26, I have the Indianapolis Colts selecting defensive tackle Christian Wilkins out of Clemson. Now, the Colts defense overperformed last year, and a great coaching had a lot to do with it. They have some stars there, but like I said, they overperformed. These were a bunch of overperformers. Don't expect this defense to be nearly as good as it was last year, I think. So I can see them with their first 2 to 3 picks trying to add pieces on that defense. Now this is a super deep draft for defensive linemen and edge rushers. So getting Wilkins at 26, any other year, this guy would have been in the top 10 easy. He still might. You never know. But I'm just saying that's how elite these D-line prospects are. So I say go ahead, snag one here, maybe address corner in the second round. And at pick 27, the Oakland Raiders, I have them taken Josh Jacobs, running back out of Alabama. Now, let's be honest, there's always one. There is always one running back that goes in the first round every year. And I think right here, this would be the pick. Jacob, he's easily the best running back in this class, no question. You have Oklahoma State's Justin Hill, Penn State's Mike Sanders. They're like 2A and 2B, but they're late second, maybe even early third round picks in my opinion, if they go that high at all. The Raiders, they added so much at receiving to give Derek Carr some weapons. So why not get someone who's a running back that can pound the ball and is an excellent pass catcher as well. They haven't re-signed Marshawn Lynch. Actually, I think he signed a 1-year deal with the Seahawks. They haven't signed Doug Martin yet. So why not stag Jacobs here? He's big, strong, fast. He has little tread on those tires because he was in and out of the rotation so much at Alabama because they like to keep their running backs fresh. So, yeah, sign me up for this guy. And we're at the 28th pick. Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to be selecting Nazir Adderley, safety out of Delaware. Now, last year, the Chargers got a great hybrid safety out of Derwin James. That man's a superstar in the making. Now I think they should go out and get a cover safety. And this guy has ridiculous speed, quickness. I mean, it takes him no time to close in on passes. This guy athletically is phenomenal. Now, he does have a few missed tackles on his game tape, but I mean, let's be honest. You're not drafting him to make tackles. You're drafting him to be that ball hawk in the center field. And he can be a turnover machine. He brings a lot, real good value here because he's also a good special teamer. So yeah, you pair Adderley and James up, and you got your secondary instantly looks like the new Legion of Boom. Watch out. And at pick 29, the Kansas City Chiefs. I had them taking Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle out of Mississippi State. Just 2 years ago, the Chiefs, they selected Patrick Mahomes and they sat him for one season and then they unleashed him. I mean, the man, he was the MVP. So Simmons, early in the offseason, he tore his ACL. So there's a chance he could return in the late 2019 season, or early, I should say, 2020 for them this year. But honestly, I think you take the same approach you did with Mahomes. You let this kid rest up, get 100%, and you bring him back and unleash him the following year. Before his injury, Simmons, he would have been easily in the top 10. I don't think the injury knocks him out of the first round. I think you'll see that he'll be selected in that 20 to 30 range where there's those playoff teams because they can get a lot of value for a guy like Jeffries at that pick. The Chiefs, they've added players in their secondary and the linebacker core. So why not address the defensive line? Get a running mate for Chris Jones. That would be a great addition to this defensive rebuild they got going on right now. And that's a scary duo to see on the defensive line. Pick 30, the Green Bay Packers, their second pick of the first round, select Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle out of Clemson. The defensive tackles are just flying off the board, let me tell you. Now, this man benched 250 36 times. The dude's strong. Crazy strong. Now, I think the Packers, they can address safety because they have an early second round pick, I should say. So they can address safety there. Since BJ Raji left, they've been unable to find someone to play nose tackle on their defense. Lawrence, he's a 3-down lineman with run stopping and pass rush presence. He's a large individual. Already told you, he's ridiculously strong, ridiculously athletic. The only thing that brings him down, he failed a drug test right before the national championship. Drops him little. I don't think out of the first round. I think he's still a top 25 talent. And now you get him to line up with Mike Daniels and Kenny Clark. Woo! Man, scary defensive line. And I think the Packers just, honestly, with that pick and all the moves they've done to improve their defense this offseason, I think they got a scary defense in that NFC North. I'd watch out and be careful. And with the 31st pick in the NFL draft, the Super Bowl runner-up, the Los Angeles Rams select Clelin Ferrell, edge rusher out of Clemson. Now, the Rams are desperate for edge help. I mean, we saw that when they franchise tagged Dante Fowler, because he is not worth $14 million. Let me tell you that. Now, Ferrell didn't test well at the combine. He wasn't a full-time starter at Clemson. They had a heavy rotation with their edge rushers. But when he was on the field, he produced. The production was there. And that's what the Rams need from their edge defenders. They need production. Ferrell will fall. I don't think he'll fall outside of the first round. I think late first round's probably where he'll go. So this is a great pick right here for the Rams. And with the final pick in the first round, we got the New England Patriots, the win every year Patriots, the I'm so sick and tired of the Patriots. I have them selecting Hakeem Butler, the wide receiver out of Iowa State. Now, Gronk's retirement is going to hurt Brady. It's going to hurt bad. Gronk was really the only person that could stretch the middle of the field for the Patriots. They brought back Philip Dorsett to be that vertical threat on the outside. Julian Edelman, he can play sometimes. They like to put him wherever, but he's better as an outside receiver. Butler is big and physical, like Gronk. He has similar size of Gronk. He can stretch the middle. He can provide another weapon. He could just provide the weapon Brady's going to be missing with Gronk's absence. I think just add into that receiving core and just get in some speed right there in the slot. You could even kick him outside if you really want to. I mean, the Patriots like to put their receivers wherever, so why not? I think this is a good pick for the Patriots here at the end of the first round. So there's my mock draft, what I think teams will be doing in this year's first round. If you like the content, subscribe, click bell, stay notified, all that good stuff. Check out some of my videos. My videos are actually pretty good. I'm impressed. Sometimes I'll be watching them. I'm like, man, that bro Schmo, he's something else. Yeah, man, I'm not arrogant or cocky. Whatever. I'll catch you on the next one. But till then, be easy, my friends.